Hey, what's up? My name is Tackless, and look, we've got tutorials going back again. I got my problem with the Elgato figured out, so we can record again, no problem. So I'll be making a bunch of tutorials here to make up for that loss. I'm really sorry about the delay, but in good news, I've been working on a lot of other projects, including one big project that is the accumulation of everything I've learned and a lot of what I've taught in Project Spark. So, not going to give you too many details on that, but it should be awesome. So, we're going to be looking at another boss fight tutorial here today. And this one is going to be actually adding some sweet new abilities rather than just tweaking or modifying a current brain. What we're going to be looking at is a savage teleporting technique that is around unstoppable, and how to shoot in multiple directions. We're going to be looking at both shooting in the world northeast, southwest, and the boss itself front, left, right, and back. This way it shoots 8 shots, and depending where the boss is facing, those shots could be in 8 different directions. Now I will say right out, that attack will be a lot more effective on flat ground, which I'm not in an environment of flat ground, but I'll be showing you how to do it anyway, so let's take a look at the boss. For the sake of this tutorial, I've removed his regeneration that you've seen in other tutorials, and the way I have him coded, I have to get a little bit farther away from him to start doing these attacks. There was his multi-shot attack, there was his teleportation attack. Now that teleportation attack, if you watch him carefully, he starts attacking before he teleports. That is a wicked tactic. Let's watch that again. That way, he doesn't miss. He always hits. That's so brutal to stop, which makes the boss much tougher. That puts a definite time limit on the player's time that he has with this boss, because he's going to get hit. And wait for it. Boom! So, let's dive in and look at how those are made. Those aren't too hard, actually. That's why I'm still throwing this under beginner. But this is actually starting to get pretty exciting. So, here's our mildly modified boss brain. You can use a normal enemy brain, and this will still work out. So, let me delete the 2 lines that made that happen. I'm going to be copying and pasting this line, distance to my enemy less than 20, and distance to my enemy greater than 2. I'm going to be copying and pasting this, but let's build this at the top for simplicity. I'm going to make a few blank lines. Now, if you don't know how to make a blank line, you click the left joystick, and I'm going to make a few more child lines, which to make a child line, you can grab a normal line, select the number, bump it to the right, and now it only acts when this line of code is met. So, I'm going to remove this move toward, and I'm going to increase this to 25. That way these attacks have a little more range. First, let's look at teleportation. So, when the enemy, which is the player, or whoever he's targeting, is less than 25 feet and greater than 2 feet, now we're going to do a countdown timer of, let's do 5. 5. I'm going to make another child line underneath this, so then position, this is referring to the position of the brain that you're in, equals to my enemy position. But we're going to add another countdown onto this for 0.3. Let's see. 0.3 right here. That's the magic number. Then we also want to do attack. And we're going to make another child line under this countdown. We're going to do started to play effect. So we want to create the effect so that the player knows that the guy intentionally teleported and not just glitched across the screen and hit you. There we go. That's how you can do the teleportation. That simple. Let's give him a try. Okay, so he's going to spawn in, and I'm going to stay away from him. And there we go. Pretty wicked attack. I'm going to get away from him. Oh, wanted to buy some goblins. There we go. That's just such a nasty attack, which if you were watching him, you can anticipate it and try to block. Let me pull out my shield. Man, that just doesn't give you any time. That gives you 0.3 seconds. which is 3/10 of a second, which is not much at all. So, really brutal, really good tactic. Very quickly, I'm going to go over some things that you could change in his brain to make it slightly less savage. You could make this distance shorter, so that it would only do it within a short range, or make this larger. That way, if the player is nice and close to him, he won't be doing that teleporting attack. This way, it would be more of hunting down the player if he's trying to escape, rather than an active attack he does all the time. You can make this countdown longer, so that it takes longer for the attack to happen. Now, if you make this range 25 to 2 smaller, every time he exits that range, so less than 2 or greater than 25, this countdown timer resets. Remember that. This countdown timer doesn't remember how far it had counted down if he gets outside of 25 feet. So, hope that helps. You could also make this countdown timer a little... You could remove it so that he teleports when he starts the attack, and that gives you a little more reaction time. So, those are some things that you could do to make him tougher or easier. Now, we're going to be doing something similar with the shooting in multiple directions. And for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to copy and paste that entire line of code and delete all of what it took to make the teleportation. We still have our teleportation down here, but what we're going to be doing here is, since this attack is much easier to avoid, we're going to be giving it a countdown timer of 3. Man, I have too many numbers. And this takes up a lot of lines of code. I'm sure there's a more efficient way to do it, but this is how I figured it out quickly, and it's simple. So we're going to be shoot, and I'm going to grab an object for it to shoot. Not a character. I don't want him shooting squirrels. Okay, and we're going to shoot... Let's see. Sparks are always good. I like shooting sparks. So let's shoot a red spark. In direction. Now I'm going to go to position. First we're going to do world relative. So north. Now copy and paste this 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. That way north, south, east, west. Now no matter what direction your boss is facing, he will always shoot northeast, southwest. Now I'm going to copy this again, and instead we're going to make this relative to the position of the boss. So now this is going to be forward, and copy and paste this 3 more times. Forward, right, backwards, and left. There we go. And be sure you have started to, or else it will just constantly fire until you get outside or inside the range. Let's give this guy a shot. So he spawns in, and he should be taking a there we go, took his shot. Now I'm going to get close to him so it starts the timer over. Took his shot, and then 2 seconds later, teleport. So, that right there is how you can make one darn tough boss. So, I hope that was helpful. Sorry about the lack of tutorials recently. I hope you guys understand. I've been getting a lot of support, and I'm up to like 75 subscribers now, which, I know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, that's a big deal. So, thank you guys for all the support. If you have a request that you'd like me to do, I'd love to hear your requests. I'd love to try to make something for you. This tutorial was somewhat focused around a request. I didn't shoot bottles or grenades or whatever the request had, but this does show shooting in 8 directions. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys